rush of cold pushes past the open doors of the ancient castle as they slowly creep open. The sense of fear and dread floods your senses, but you push past those feelings. You are here with a purpose. The sound of the ingress sparks another fit of squirming from the figure bound and thrown over your shoulder. "Knock it off," you shout gruffly, giving the figure a good shake. They comply. This outburst refocuses you as you begin making your way through the darkened halls and echoing hallways of this fortress until you find your goal, the throne room. The doors already open, as if waiting for your arrival and beckoning you inside. As you take your first steps, the room suddenly lights up. Torches on every wall seem to spark themselves as you realize you are far from alone here. Darkened corners, still pitch with shadows, feature the glowing eyes of those whose ranks you hope to soon join. But it's the figure at the front of the room that draws your attention. She sits on an ivory throne. You could swear you see the shape of what seem to be human bones that encompass the ornate furnishing. Speckling this pure white frame are blood-red rubies, glinting in the firelight, like drops of blood cascading down the scarlet runner that stretches all the way to your feet. She sits, tall and regal, incredibly beautiful, with dark black hair as deep as the night. Her skin pale as the moon amidst the darkness, and her eyes, well, your own come to rest on hers. They are piercing with a red glow you cannot look away from. As your gaze sinks deeper, so do your senses into a peaceful void. You find yourself incredibly relaxed, almost lazy. You can no longer hold the bundle on your shoulder and it falls to the floor with a painful thud. The figure inside wrestles their way out of their constraints before their eyes behold the scene before you, and they too freeze in place.
Well, well, what brings you barging into my kingdom?
The queen-like figure asks, motioning her hands towards you and beckoning you to speak. The sensation of peace and calm lifts ever so slightly, as if she withholds her mesmerizing powers to allow you to speak. "I wish to join your ranks." It's nearly impossible to retain enough focus to make a coherent statement, but you desperately want to fulfill her request and give her an answer.
I see.
She replies with an air of annoyance. Her gaze looks away from you as she turns towards the paralyzed, bundled figure on the floor at your side. As she looks away, you regain your senses and a small amount of confidence. "A gift!" you exclaim. "The villager said if I brought you a sacrifice, I could exchange it for power." The sound of her laughter echoes through the hall, bouncing off the stone walls as she suddenly disappears. Your heart drops into your stomach as you can feel her presence behind you.
What would you do with this power I could give you?
She asks as she starts to circle around you, looking you up and down as if analyzing every attribute, both external and internal. "To conquer, milady," you reply. You had heard of her intensity and ferocity and desperately wished to share in that violent prowess. To see your enemies fall before you is a dream you've chased for some time, and today is the day you hope to see that dream come true. She finalizes her circle around you. You feel the sense of demising dread once again. Her visage and aura so incredibly imposing, you nearly buckle to your knees. But then her gaze transfixes into yours, and you feel that calming sensation once again.
And under whose name would you conquer?
You know the correct answer, but it is a lie, and one that her mesmerizing power will not allow to cross your lips. You try with all your might, and she smiles. She knows the truth, and she would see it spoken. "My own, your majesty." You can no longer hold back the words that break the silence and bring light to your truest intentions. She leans in close, and her ice-cold breath causes the hairs on your neck to stand on end.
That's what I thought.
Suddenly, she lunges forth, and you feel her sharpened fangs reach deep into your neck as blood begins to flow like a river out of your veins. Pain is excruciating, and your legs can no longer hold your form as you fall limp, hanging from her bite. Only seconds pass before she is finished, leaving you nearly drained of lifeblood. and she releases you to the cold stone floor below. As your vision begins to fade, you see her turn towards the young woman you had brought with you, the one you had claimed as payment from a farmer who owed you a debt. Once again, this beautifully terrifying creature takes a long sniff at this new figure, as if absorbing and analyzing their very essence before gifting the young woman with a smile.
You, on the other hand, show great promise.
She takes a hold of the young woman's chin.
Open.
Vampire demands. The woman shakes her head.
Open or end up like him.
She points to you slowly losing consciousness on the floor not 5 feet away. The young woman glances your way with a look of despise and a hint of pity as she opens her mouth. The vampire queen takes her razor-sharp nail and creates a small cut in her palm. Black, oozing blood drips from her hand into the open mouth of the woman knelt before her. Suddenly, the human begins to shake and convulse violently, but only for a moment before collapsing on the ground.
Sleep now, for when you awake, I will make you my new commander.
The pale queen stands back up and lifts the deathly still figure from the floor, carrying her off. She pauses and turns to look at you, your vision growing ever blurred and darker by the second.
The rest of you may finish off this meal now.
She turns to leave, and you watch as those glowing eyes give way to dozens of humanoid beings who now step from the shadows of the room, slowly creeping towards you. A tear, some of the last remaining moisture in your body, drips from your cheek. You've just been tricked by the Vampire Lord. All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Roll Phase Podcast. My name is Skyler G, and my voice is exhausted because that was 2 pages worth of intro. So handing it off today is Bill Frosby, who's going to run you through the Vampire Lord. The Vampire Lord's going to run through you. No, I'm not. No. Yep, Vampire Lord.
Good try.
I tried.
Good try. Hi, it's me, Bill Frosby, here to break down another hero for you guys. I do want to also preface with every hero breakdown, this is my advice. I'm trying my best to teach you my advice, but am I the best at playing this game? No.
He has not won the Free Hawks tournament. Oh,
Not
you
yet.
did. You would be arguably considered the best in our local district because you did take first place
Multiple times.
for what that's worth.
And so my dad beat me.
That is true. We did do a friends tournament just recently, and your dad did actually beat you.
Yeah.
To be fair, you did help him.
I did.
You
I
actively
literally
helped him beat you.
The only game we played a tournament Swiss format, and the only game he won was the only game I lost was against him.
Yeah.
And I was giving him advice while actively playing because he was playing Ravenous, and he never played Ravenous before. So I was giving him tips and stuff. So
That's fair.
anyways, but we're not talking about Ravenous.
No.
We're talking
That is
about-
another good dark character, but today we got a different dark character.
Yeah, Vampire Lord. And I love Vampire Lord.
I think a lot of people do.
I think that's why she won the vote.
I think it's exactly why she won the vote, although it was
but-
very close.
It was very close. But I can see, out of all the season 2 characters, I actually like Vampire Lord winning. One is because of her aesthetic. I think she's probably one of the coolest characters in Dice Thrones. And not even arguably, like some people might argue, but I think she is the most thematic for like any other character. Like
Thematic.
like how her abilities function.
Yeah.
Where she's utilizing blood to strengthen her mesmerize ability, the bleed ability, but more importantly, I just got to talk about this right off the bat because, in my opinion, I think it is one of the greatest things in Dice Throne was when they changed her, they buffed her.
Oh, sure.
changed her
She's one
leaflet.
of the characters that went through a
Patch
boost.
or whatever.
Yeah.
right? But what they added is, in my opinion, one of the most thematic additions to the game, which was if your opponent has 2 bleeds on them and you hit them, you gain a blood power,
Oh.
which encourages you to put bleeds on them. But it's so thematic because the idea is your opponent's bleeding out, so
Yes.
it gives you fresh blood supply, which
Yes.
strengthens you. It wasn't in the original character, and they just added that, and that really was like the only thing they added. But it was such a simple change, but added so much more theme and character to this character while making her a little stronger.
Yep.
But like, I love it. I think that simple little minor like passive rule they added is such a cool addition to this character.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Bill. I don't think I've actually played her since that patch came out. Because that doesn't sound familiar at all.
No, they added it in the
Interesting.
same patch.
I'm just saying I haven't played Vampire Lord in that long.
Yeah. But the other thing I think people voted for her to be number one, other than the cool thematicness and all this stuff, is she has a higher pilot ability. She's not a, what I mean by pilot ability is some
hold on. What word are you saying there?
Pilot,
like
ability.
Airplane pilot.
So in trading card games, board games, and stuff, piloting is referred to how you navigate the character.
Okay.
All right. So saying you have good. So we talk about this all the time. What's the number one thing I say when we're teaching characters and stuff? We're saying, we're more scared of someone who's played a character 100 times versus someone playing a character for the first time.
Right.
That right there is pilot.
Unless, of course, it's your dad playing Ravenous.
Yeah, but that right there is pilot experience.
Okay.
They have a lot of experience piloting the character. So in the board game world, or especially in Dice Throne, you'll hear this word a lot in Dice Throne, is pilot skill. It's how good someone is in managing and navigating a character.
Okay.
So now you know the definition. So when I say Vampire Lord has a high pilot skill, meaning the more you play this character, the better you will be as a threat from time playing the character. Okay. Versus so like a character like, for example, like Samurai. Samurai is a very simple character.
Right.
And really, you play him 1-2 games and you already get the whole concept of the character.
Oh, okay.
And you really
I see what you mean.
The more you play him won't really like teach you any neat tricks or like timings or stuff like that, because one game of Samurai is the same as every game of Samurai. Okay. Right?
It's like rewatching your favorite show, and like some shows have Easter eggs. That's like Community, one of our favorite shows, Community. You rewatch Community again, and you start to notice more Easter eggs. But there's a lot of shows out there that are just super one note,
very cookie cutter.
Yeah, and so you watch it, and you're like, okay, cool. Check that off the list.
And the rewatchability is gone.
Yes.
In a sense, yes, the Vampire Lord's a very replayable character because the more you play her, the better you get with her.
Okay.
And people will put Vampire Lord up there as one of the highest skill cap characters.
Okay.
What that means is if you are just playing her for the first time, your skill level at playing her is going to be really low.
Yeah.
And you'll probably lose a bunch of games. But the more you play the character and the more you learn about the character and you learn timings, you learn when to go for things, you understand how to utilize her blood power, which has so many different uses. The better you get with the character, the bigger threat you are when you're playing the character.
Okay. So now, I guess with that being said, and I know that this isn't like entirely off topic per se, but I just kind of want to explore this concept a little bit more, because you have a character like Vampire Lord that has this very high, I can practice and get so much better at this character because I can understand this character even better. But she's not like a high complexity character.
No.
And so are there examples of high complexity characters that just don't really have as much of that replayability per se? Or is that an element that really helps to guarantee that hero will have?
Typically, characters with high complexity are going to fit within this, where they have higher windows of piloting or skill caps.
But it's just the fascinating fact that the Vampire Lord isn't that hard.
She is simple in premise. Like, so complexity in Dice Throne mostly comes down to how many different mechanics are operating on that character, right? And for the most part, blood power is a very simple mechanic. You spend 1 to add 3 damage, you spend 2 to remove a status effect, you spend 3 to draw a card. Like, it is such a simple mechanic.
Kind of reminds me of Tactician with his stuff.
But Tactician's a little more advanced because he's a lot more uses for his tactical power. But honestly, if you put Tactician and
Vampire Lord
at the same complexity level, I would probably agree with that.
Fair enough.
But my point is, other characters who are more complex, they have more elements to them or more moving pieces. So that's the reason their complexity goes up. But more moving pieces doesn't mean the character will take more time to be skilled with, right? There are some characters who have a ton of moving pieces, but they're really easy to operate. For example, a good example is Forge Master.
I was just thinking that.
Forge Master has a ton of moving pieces, but he's actually extremely easy to operate, and he really has the same game plan really
Every single
game.
time.
The only real difference is, do you max out your helmet or your shield first?
Right.
That's really all you have for like decision making with him. But for a character like Vampire or Tactician, great example, because of the element of what blood power is, or tactical advantage with Tactician, there are so many choices you can make with this one status effect that it gives you a lot of different paths.
Right.
Every time you gain that status effect, you now have a new path you can choose.
That makes sense.
And because of that, it almost becomes like analysis paralysis, where you have so many options. You might
just kind of freeze up
you don't
a little
know,
bit.
Or you freeze up, or
you get mesmerized.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like you get so many choices, you don't know which one's the right one.
Right.
And that is where we're here to help out. But also, like, that's where I say experience. It's like my if I could give one piece of advice for Vampire Lord, if you want to get better with Vampire Lord as well, you're listening to this, so this will give you a good start.
Yes.
But playing her.
Yeah.
There's few characters in this game where I'll say playing this character will, every game played, you will get better.
Right.
While other characters, like I said, Samurai, for example, you play 1 or 2 games with Samurai, you're going to be as good as you playing Samurai, like 50th game, right? Playing this game, your first game of Vampire Lord is going to be vastly different from like your 50th game of Vampire Lord. Like, your skill difference will be insanely different.
Yeah,
right?
no, that makes sense. You need to see her in different scenarios.
Yeah, exactly.
To know kind of how to react to those.
A very adaptable character based on the matchup. She has a very interesting board, but like, she definitely adapts to who she's playing against. So
okay. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start on the board or the leaflet?
we could start with her board.
Okay.
Or her leaflet. Leaflet.
I will say you're going to gain things from your abilities on the board that.
Let's start with the leaflet.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
More sense.
Yeah.
So let's start with the simpler ones before I get the blood power. Here, take this one. They're the exact same. The only difference is, I'll mention the differences.
Okay.
But that is the old one. Yes. We have both. We have 2 leaflets here because we have the updated version, new version. We'll start with bleed. Bleeds.
Okay.
So
Bleed. Straightforward.
I mean, Huntress has it as well. It's 1 to 4. You roll. You deal 1 damage. If the opponent rolls a 1 through 4, 5 through 6, it removes it. Very simple status effect. It's actually a really weak status effect in the game. But bleed actually is really so. Huntress, it's okay. It allows you to create some damage. Bleed was okay, but with the change that we will get back to, with the 2 bleeds gives you blood power, that change makes bleed actually really strong for this character.
Absolutely.
So that was just a very simple change, but it makes this character so much stronger.
We'll see that once we get into the blood power. Yes. Obviously.
Mesmerize is terrible.
A player with this token may spend it and roll 1 dice. On 5 through 6, on 5 through 6, you may force the opponent to re-roll any 1 dice. What a hassle. So I got to roll a dice to see if you re-roll a dice.
Yeah. And it's good in nature. It is a pretty easy to get helping hand.
Sure.
But the thing is, it's only a 33% chance, meaning at most in the game, you're probably going to get around 3 mesmerizes, right? Okay. Meaning probably only one of them is going to work again.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing. So like you have to get the 5 through 6, which is, like you said, a 33.333 repeating % chance in the first place, just to force your opponent to re-roll 1 of their dice, which always has the chance that they could either roll like the symbol that they already had, and therefore they're still okay, or the number that they already had. There's a 1 in 6 chance that happens. So just, the circumstances would have to be really specific to even be worth attempting.
So altogether, Mesmerize it's a status effect that you are never going to chase. Okay. Like, you're never going to go for an ability because you say, ooh, there's Mesmerize.
I got to get that Mesmerize.
Like, you're never ever, instead, you're going to be like, I'm looking for blood powers or bleeds. That's how this character operates. So,
I mean, if the Mesmerize worked.
Mesmerize could work. It could work every time you use it. And in that case, it's really strong. But the thing is, the odds of it working are less than the odds of it working, and therefore you shouldn't chase it when you instead could go for something like blood power, which works 100% of the time you 100%. Use it, right?
Yep, that makes sense.
Even bleed works more than Mesmerize because it works 66%, while Mesmerize works 33%. So therefore, bleed is a better one to chase.
Yeah,
especially since bleed also stacks with your blood power.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Mesmerize has the potential to be really strong, but it's nothing that the numbers will tell you don't chase it.
If it was a
shows
little
up,
bit
it shows
more directly thematic, and you could
up. I
basically,
mean, it's very thematic.
no. It's I mean,
but it just
directly
doesn't blend with the other ones.
in the sense that if I got mesmerized, I could command my opponent to forfeit the game.
Yeah.
Then it would be really strong.
Yeah.
And I just had to roll a 5
I mean,
or 6
you don't
for
even
that.
need mesmerize. You could just command your opponent to. But
could.
They probably won't.
I like how that's an ongoing theme with our podcast. Is
But
like
you
there's
can
a lot
always
of
ask to look at your opponent's hand.
Yep.
They of
can
course
just say no,
no, but you
and they
have,
should.
but you can. I mean,
you can just be like, hey, forfeit this game. Actually, you know what? That's weird though. That's like real. Like if I had one of the guys at the or somebody at the tournament that we do locally, and they just looked me in the eye during their turn.
yeah, probably don't do this.
Don't
Probably
do this.
don't tell the person unless you're joking around with someone, like
yeah,
it's
if
your
it's
buddy
somebody
or
you
something.
know or something.
But like, don't tell a random person. Just look them in the eye and just say, "You want to quit this game?"
No.
and you force hand movement.
You don't want to win this
And then
game.
you go, "I don't want to win this game."
I want to go home and rethink mine. Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm pretty sure I remember your dad when we were playing the friend tournament, did look you dead in the eye and said, "I am your father. Lose this game." And,
said,
and that
"Yes,
was what you
father."
did. Yeah, you did. You said, "Yes, father." And you folded up your board and you put it away. And that was how he won the tournament. I'm a little upset
He did
about
it to
that.
everyone.
He did it to
was
everyone. It
weird
did
because
not work.
because he only worked on me being his son. Everyone
Yep.
else was like, "What are you talking
Who?
about?"
I mean, I know you, but you're not my dad. You're not my dad.
All right, and now let's get to the most important one.
Yes.
This is the character.
This is the whole premise. This is the what everything else surrounds this.
Blood power.
Yes.
Okay, first off, a stack limit of 5. That's important.
Oh, that also updated from the old version. I'm looking
Right.
at the old version. It says 4, but yeah.
So yeah, we can talk about the changes too,
Sweet.
but
Yeah.
the stack limit is now 5, which helps
Yay.
because the top one was 4 cost, but sometimes
Does she? And I know this is getting a little bit out of order here, but does she have one of those annoying cards that they've included in some of the characters where they're like, increase your stack limit by what? Okay, thank goodness. What do I do with that? Do I just set the card there so that I always remember that my stack? There's no way to know that.
You just usually remember.
Okay, sorry. This is a heated thing for me.
Sometimes some people with like Monk, for example, who
Yeah.
will repeatedly change his stack limit. Attack Cushion's another one if you get a couple ults a game. Is they'll have a D8 or a D10 with their
Interesting.
character, and then they'll set that on the stack limit number to represent what number they're at now.
Okay, that makes sense. But it's just a point of contention with me. Like, there's no way to track this for the character. Technically speaking,
another way people have done it, if you say you don't have a D10 or whatever,
right?
well,
and that's what I'm saying. Based on what the game has given us, they did not give us some way to track the addition.
There is a simple way that the game has given us. All the characters that can raise stack limits, they have an abundance of that token.
Sure.
So the way people will do it without like a tracker or something is you keep all the tokens in your box and you only have out the amount of your stack limit.
Sure. And
so
then
that
you would
if your
put
stack limit
those
increases,
on your board.
then you add to the pool. And so in the box is what you have engaged, and everything that's in play is in your stack limit.
I'm just, I'm fascinated by the fact that I have this nice fancy little dial that I can see exactly how much health I have left numerically and how much CP I have numerically.
They might make a character that has a stack limit mechanic, and in that case, they might add a dial.
They add a dial, and then they make that exclusive dial available for purchase for other characters.
There's a fun character in the homebrew. This is crazy, but he's
we're going way off. Yeah.
But he uses bleed.
Okay.
He raises the stack limits of bleed, and it was a chainsaw man.
Nice. Okay.
And literally his leaflet is just bleed. Nothing else. Though it's just bleed. And all of the mechanics on his board will raise and lower the stack limit of bleed,
That's fascinating.
which you'll be putting on your opponent
right
and yourself.
Oh.
Yeah,
what?
it is a really cool character. But yeah. Anyways,
Okay. Anyway, back to blood power.
blood power. Stack limit of 5, which is important. And I'll
Yes.
explain why it's important that they change that up one.
Okay.
First one token. If your offensive roll phase results in an attack, add 3 damage
Oh, that's also increased.
as an attack modifier. That
Okay.
increased from 2. That's
Dang,
massive.
That's
massive.
3 extra damage?
Yeah. So that adds the value. So in a sense, we talked
Wow.
about delta before.
Yes.
That's the value of things. That right by itself makes the delta value of a blood power 3.
Wow.
which is
That's huge.
That's a lot of value.
Especially because you're getting this for like so many different things.
Basically, almost all of your abilities give you a blood power.
Right.
Which is 3
Holy
delta.
cow.
So yeah, think about that.
I'm thinking about playing like when I play Rogue and I get those what are they called? Do you know
Ionics. It's
Ionics.
like getting hit for a 2 and a 1. Yeah.
Right. I gotta go get hit for those.
That's 2 separate turns. Yeah.
I do an attack and I get
you gain that
blood
while also
power.
you're spending it.
And then I get blood power, which I can then turn into even more damage versus getting hit and slowly losing the game and then getting.
And then she has ways to gain
Interesting.
multiple blood power as well.
So what you're saying is I should swap out Rogue for Vampire Lord.
Honestly, both are good. If you play both, I wouldn't blame you.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyways, next up is probably the least used one, but it can be used. Remove a status effect from a chosen player. This effect may only be activated during your main phase.
Oh, wow. This is a really interesting one looking at the change because the original says you can only remove it from yourself. Yes. Now, all things considered, we just don't see a lot of like collaborative play per se. But I mean, it's
But
there.
you can use it on an opponent.
It's an option, yeah.
And this is useful. For example, I played against the Vampire Lord and I was Loki once. And every turn they would spend 2 to remove one of my illusions.
Oh, okay.
So or you say you're facing a ninja and you keep removing her smoke screens. Right?
Now, just because it got brought up, just a point of, I don't know, whatever from me, Skyler G over here. I would never remove illusions from my opponent if they were playing Loki. I just guess it correctly every single time.
It's right.
It's a weird magical thing that I have. Yeah. So.
Number 3.
Yes.
3 tokens.
3 tokens.
Draw 2.
Whoa, that's pretty good. Discard any card from your hand. And that's the old word. That's the old one.
Yeah, what's it say?
It says discard 1 from your hand.
Yeah, you draw 2 and then you discard 1. They changed it to just straight up draw 2.
Okay. That's a lot better.
It's a lot better. Let's just say they went through every single ability and they just said, these all suck. Let's just make them better. Yeah. So, and then number 4 is 4 tokens. Heal equal to the amount of damage your attack successfully dealt. This effect may only be activated during your roll phase.
Hold on, I'm seeing something here. Okay, so
because it sucked before.
Okay.
What's it say before?
Heal equal to the amount of damage you successfully dealt this roll phase. But hear me out. I'm seeing something because you mentioned that they increased to the stack limit of 5. So let's say I have a full set of 5 blood power. I could use 1 blood power to add 3 more damage on top of what I'm already doing for an attack. And then I could spend the other 4 to then heal with that extra 3 damage contributing to that, which is pretty awesome.
Congratulations, Skyler. You found out why this character is so strong now.
I just won the game.
You figured it out. I said
just
I was going to get back. I said I was going to get back to why the stack limit increase was very important, and that's exactly why.
Wow.
You can add 3 damage to increase the amount.
That's
your heal.
awesome. And 3 health, I mean, that's
they
great.
Didn't really change much to it. They just specified a little bit more because some people were confused on timings and stuff.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That's fair.
But it is
wow,
interesting.
that's huge.
But there is an important thing to talk about with the blood power heal 4 effect.
Right.
It says heal equal to the amount of damage your attack successfully dealt.
Oh, okay.
This matters for a lot of timings and stuff. For example, if your opponent played illusion, he's Loki, and he dodged all the damage you did. If you spent 4 tokens and did 10 damage, but then the Loki blocks all 10,
or dodges it or
you
whatever.
just wasted all of your tokens and heal 0.
Right.
So it is very important when you are doing the heal action, and we will talk about this. I'll talk about good timings, when to do the heal, and what to look out for and all that stuff. But that's one of the most important things to this character is the heal function, because that is her win condition. Is because when you look around Vampire Lord's board, Vampire Lord has a lot of weak damage all across the board. She's not going to be any character in a straight up numbers battle.
Right.
Where she wins dice turn is if she can successfully get off a major heal, because it completely doubles the value.
Right.
So if you hit someone for a 9 and you do the heal and they block nothing, you get 9 yourself. So that is an 18 damage attack.
Yes.
In a sense, right?
Yes. Or 18 delta. Or whatever.
18 delta, but in a sense, you did 18 worth of things.
Yes.
You spent 4 to double.
Yes.
All right.
That is pretty wild.
But there's something very important you need to know, though. How much value is a blood power?
A single blood power? Yes. 2, 3. Because sorry, I'm looking at the old one.
But it's
sorry,
3,
yes,
right?
3.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is important. So how much value is 4?
Would it
for the
be?
heal?
Would it be? It would be dependent.
12.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense because then you're multiplying the 1. How much worth is 1 worth?
Because which one? Because
3,
you
6,
could
9,
spend
12.
the blood power 4 times to do
Yes.
12 worth of damage, or you could spend 4.
Well, can you? Hold on.
You can't spend them more than one time. But I'm saying over 4 turns.
Oh, yes.
You spend 4 to deal 12.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it's important that when you're doing the heal, that you're getting as much of that heal as you can. Because if you don't, why didn't you just use it to deal 12 damage?
Yeah, absolutely.
Turns,
You
right?
don't want to waste.
And that is why it is very important to know if you are going to get a full heal off or stuff. And I'll get into that. But that is the important thing you're thinking with this character. The final thing they added was if your attack successfully deals damage to an opponent inflicted with 2 bleeds. So if they have 2 bleeds on them, when you attack them, you'll gain a blood power at the conclusion of your turn.
Okay, so
That's
you won't be able to use it.
because you cannot use it in that turn,
That
but
makes
you
sense.
have it for the next turn. So
Absolutely.
it actually, and it still works out fine because say you did use a blood power to deal 3 more damage to that person, you basically get like a rebate. You get it right back
Yeah, that's
because
true.
you had the bleed on them. So that's kind of what you do.
I mean, by your own words, though, Bill, in a previous episode, you explicitly used the phrase, you're never guaranteed your next turn.
That's true, but I
So-
mean, dealing 3 damage
Yeah.
and dealing with the end of your turn is pretty good value.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Plus, that blood power could have pushed you over to get like 3 draw 2 cards, which could
and to
give
be
you like
fair,
a defense or something.
it's only blood power that you're getting at the end of your turn from specifically the fact that you have 2 bleeds on your opponent.
Which is 2 more damage that they
If
could
you were to gain it through an ability, like if you were to gain 1 through an ability, theoretically you could spend that.
100%.
right
All
away.
of our abilities that give blood power, they give the blood power with the ability, so you can immediately spend it to add damage or to heal or whatever.
Perfect. So this would just be a bonus one.
So let's get to her board. All right. We
Yeah.
get through her abilities and her leaflet. And honestly, we spent a good time talking about blood power, but blood power is such a cool, unique stats effect that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, we'll start with the first ability, top left, gouge.
Yep.
And
Classic, standard.
Also for this, just going to establish, because it's hard to describe dice with the symbols,
Yes.
we use the letter system, which is, she's got the dice layout of AAA, BB, All
Got
right.
it.
That is her dice layout. Okay. So when I say A, I'm talking about the 1 through 3 symbol, claw. And I'm talking about B, I'm talking about the eye, the purple eye, the 4 through 5 gaze. And then when I say C, of course, is the 6, her droplet, the red. So AAA, BB, That matters just to make it easy so everyone understands what I'm talking about. All right. First ability, her basic. So it's just a bunch of A's, right? 3 damage, 5 damage, 7 damage. Of course, remember, all these damage can be increased by 3. So in a sense, it's 3 damage, 5 damage, 7 damage, or 6 damage, 8 damage, 10 damage.
Right.
Pretty strong.
Pretty
for a
solid,
basic,
yeah.
Right?
And we haven't even upgraded it yet.
We'll talk about that upgrade.
Yeah.
Next up, glamour.
Nice.
This is
We're putting on some fancy clothes.
this ability. I'll just read it. Gain 1 CP. So that helps you pay for her cards. And she has a lot of really good cards and upgrades that we'll talk about.
Okay.
So that extra CP from glamour is very appreciated for her. Gain mesmerize. Again, you're not chasing this ability. You like not for mesmerize. You like it for the CP. And the final thing, deal 4 undefendable damage.
Oh, and you can increase that.
it by 3, so 7 undefendable damage.
Woo, that's pretty solid.
Vampire Lord is regarded as one of the best undefendable attackers because you can spam glamour pretty easily because it is just
And evilly.
because it is just 3 Bs.
Yeah.
Which is not that hard to roll.
That's 1/3 of your dice options.
Yeah, and the odds of rolling it each time is about a third, and you have 5 dice. It's
Right.
not that hard.
It's not hard, yeah.
to roll into, and you'll roll into it quite often, just first roll. So, man, it's a spammable 7 undefendable. Now, no, you can't do it forever because it doesn't give blood power. So you have to get other ways to get blood power, which is a perfect segue to the next ability, Sanguimancy, which is BBBC. And this ability reads heal 2 health
Nice.
Gain 3 blood power.
Holy cow.
This is the ability that builds up. So a simple way some people might play Vampire Lord is you do, if they say your opponent's got a strong defense, they literally will just do Sanguimancy, and then the next 3 turns
Just
glamour,
spam
glamour, glamour, because that's you heal 2,
That's
and then the next
amazing.
3 turns you're doing 7 undefendable, 7 undefendable, 7 undefendable.
And as you mentioned before, when you do undefendable damage, you're taking the delta value of the attack that you're dealing, the amount of damage, and the opponent's defense's delta value.
So if you're picking Vampire Lord against someone with a good defense, that has a lot of extra value because remember, I talked about this way back, but I talked about the value of a defensive character. Their kit is a little undervalued on their board because of their stronger defense.
Right.
So if you're just never hitting their defense, they do lose overall value.
Yeah.
So that's why Vampire Lord is a really good counter to those characters.
Nice. I would also say, jumping back to Glamour and the ability there, if you can get that double up on their bleeds, and you're just getting
the
free.
thing is, though, if you're spamming Glamour, which is not a bad strategy, but if you're spamming it, you're really not going to put bleeds on them. The only way you'll put bleeds on them is your defense. And that's not guaranteed. So the odds
I'm saying you would do something else to get those bleeds on,
and then go back to Glamour, and you kind of alternate back and forth. Yeah, no, that's really good value.
Okay.
The only downside to Glamour spam is you really will never do the heal effect. And like I mentioned before, you usually want to do it at least once a game.
Okay.
And so if you're just doing Glamour spam, you're probably going to still lose. So you need to, it's a good way to hold your opponent while you're building up for something else.
Okay. But you got to play it careful because there's a lot of opponents out there that also want to play the long game.
Correct.
And you want to not give them that opportunity. So just kind of, it can depend. And this is exactly what you were talking about, of having characters or different strategies that you would use, because
and that's where
your
playing
opponent,
the characters, you learn matchups and you learn what you want to do against certain characters, and she's very flexible. So that helps her.
Awesome. I love it.
Next up is Rend. It is AAACC.
Okay.
Now,
So we need a couple 6s.
this ability is strong, but there's no other ways to really roll around it.
Okay.
So if you go hard chasing for it,
I
you
see
have
what you
high
mean.
chance of whiffing because nothing else on our board really pairs with it
Right.
that you could fall back into.
Right.
So my advice with Rend is, if you roll your dice turn 1 and you see Rend, say, all right, I'll take it. Otherwise, don't chase it.
Sure.
Go for
Because
something else.
AAA is going to be your 1, 2, 3, and then it takes 2 6s.
Yes.
The likeliness that you're going to get 2 more 6s to be able to do your mini
or
ult,
even if you had 1 6 and
Sure.
you would all the other
upgrade it.
symbols, but it's not a 6. The chances of you rolling, and say you pick up all the other dice but a 6, and you're looking for Rend. You roll those other dice, and say you did get another 6, but the other dice are like AAB. You're going to pick up that last dice and roll with a 50-50 that it'll work. Don't do it.
You're playing a dangerous game.
You're playing a dangerous game.
No,
Don't
that's fair.
chase Rend is my advice. If you get blessed with the Rend turn 1, take it.
Yeah.
But you don't chase it. That's my advice. You want to be looking for Glamour. You want to be looking for Sanguimancy. You want to be looking for Straights, right?
Yes.
You don't want to chase Rend. If it hits you, if you roll it, it's like a large straight.
I was going to say, what does it do?
It does deal 6 damage, and then you roll 3 dice. If you roll an A symbol, you add a damage. If you roll a B symbol, you draw a card, but only once. And if you roll a C symbol, you get a blood power, but only once.
Okay.
So you have the potential to, if you roll 1 of each symbol, to deal
that's a good
7
point.
damage, draw a card, gain a blood power.
Got it.
But if you roll 3 of the same thing,
You just lost so much value.
Unless if it's all A, then you'll add 3, so it'll be 10. But it's a good ability. It's don't chase it. That's my advice. Yeah. So next up, her small straight. Deal 7 damage and roll 1 dice. If you roll an A symbol, you put a bleed on your opponent. If you roll a B or C, which is the other 50%, you get mesmerized. This ability is good if you roll bleed.
Sure.
If you don't roll bleed,
and you get the mesmerize,
this is a kind of weak ability.
Yeah.
So
that's
sucks
fair.
about that, but it's just how it is.
It just, at the end of the day, anytime that the ability has the potential for mesmerize, you're kind of like,
But we'll get to her small straight upgrade, which helps a ton.
Okay.
And finally, her large straight, gain blood power, inflict bleed, 2 things you love.
Absolutely.
And then finally, deal 8 damage.
Okay.
Now, this is the best part about this ability. You may spend Mesmerize to make it undefendable.
Oh.
Mesmerize has a use. Most people who play Vampire Lord will actually hold their Mesmerize, and they will either use it to break up a large straight,
Right.
break up an alt because they're desperate, or they'll hold it until they roll large straight. And here's the best part about Mesmerize. Mesmerize is such a weak status effect that no one really uses status effect removals on it because it's not that big of a threat. So
Until you
roll a large straight, and then
okay.
it's an 8 damage undefendable that gives you blood power. So in a sense, it could be 11.
Yep.
And it also gives bleed, so it could also give them their second bleed, which also will give you another blood power.
Yeah.
Her large straight's insane.
Yeah.
The only downside to it is it's a large straight, so it's not guaranteed, and her
True.
small straight's not the best. It's decent. It's just it's got a 50% chance it's good, and a 50% chance it's worthless.
Here's the fascinating thing, though. With the small straight is the only way, as far as I'm noticing, that gives you Mesmerize, right?
Glamour spam.
Glamour also does. Okay. I was gonna say. So, I mean, either way, you're gonna have to get Mesmerize, or sorry, you're gonna have to get the small straight or the Glamour in order.
The thing is, like I said, Glamour you're going to be doing at least once or twice a game. It gives you that CP, which you very much appreciate with this character.
Yeah.
I'm not saying her deck's expensive, but she has a lot of good upgrades and good cards. She has 6 cards. Only one of them is bad. The other ones you all want to pay for, and her upgrades, like almost all of them are good.
Okay.
So it's like you want that CP, so you're going to be playing Glamour about 2 to 3 times a game, and you'll be fine.
Gotcha.
So,
All right. So let's look at her mini ult.
Yes, mini ult.
Do we do mini ult, then defense?
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds fine. Mini ult is, of course, 4 Cs, and it is gain 2 blood power, deal 5 undefendable.
Which you would then theoretically
And
upgrade
remember,
to 8.
the delta of a blood power is 3, so in a sense, that's 6 and then 5.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of value. It's not the best ability.
Okay.
Like, it's pretty weak, but it's pretty weak because of how ridiculously strong her ult is.
Yes.
Her ult is one of the strongest in Dice Stone.
Okay.
Right? Here is
Oh,
her
boy.
ult. Search your deck for any one card.
Oh my gosh.
That is probably one of the strongest. I don't even have to read the rest of this,
Yeah.
but her ult is even crazier than that. Okay. But search your deck for any one card.
And when we do the cards portion of this episode, I'm sure you have some recommendations.
There is the top ones that you're going for,
Okay.
and I'll talk through the strategy of this. Then you'll put that card into your hand and then shuffle the deck.
Of course.
Gain 2 blood power.
Okay.
That's what we're
Nice.
doing.
Awesome.
Deal 10 damage.
Holy cow. Which could be upgraded to 13.
Or more. And we'll get to that.
My gosh.
But
what have they done?
I'm just going to say it now.
Okay.
Vampire Lord hitting an ult is one of the strongest ults in Dice Throne. Not because of what's on this text right here. Searching for a card is amazing. That by itself puts this in like the top 10 easily.
Okay.
It's her leaflet paired with her ult. Because when you deal, Skyler,
Yes.
when you deal damage with an ult, is there any way to stop that damage?
There's not.
So what does that mean for her heal?
There's no way. Whoa.
You guarantee 100% that the damage you deal with your ult is a heal back to you, and there's nothing your opponent can do to stop you. This is why Vampire Lord's ult is one of the strongest in the game, because its delta value isn't 10.
It's like 20.
It's 20 or more.
23
or 26.
or 6. Yeah, 26 if you have all 5.
Plus, you get a card.
That's also true.
So it's 26 and a card.
Okay, I'm picturing some scenarios. I don't know her, obviously, like I said, I haven't played her in a long time. I don't know all her cards as well as I probably should. You're obviously going to go over them, which is great.
That was my next
I have some thoughts about some potential really good options for cards based on like, okay, here's the immediate scenario. I have the ult. It's locked in. The opponent's letting it go through, whatever. I'm going to go search my deck. I'm going to get a specific card. You're getting 2 blood power. Here's the thing. I would imagine absolute best scenario here is to do
with
the
like
5.
4 blood power. Yeah.
Ideally, the
Like
5.
you have 3 on your board so that you could do the 4 plus the 1.
Right.
That's the ideal.
So, and you're going to get 2. You want to make sure you get to, again, at least 4.
Yes.
So that you can get that massive
There
heal
is a
as
card.
well. So yeah, I was going to say, there has to be a card in here. I can imagine it. And I'm feeling like that's a really solid strategy. There's other strategies. I'm sure there's going to be scenarios, you know, obviously, but I think that's a very strong one. And it's an easy one to like, be like, oh yeah, this is just an all around good idea.
Yep.
So, okay.
We'll get
okay.
to that with
cool.
the alt for sure, because her alt is a major win condition.
I
for
mean,
her. Like
yeah.
if you can hit an alt and get a 26 swing, right? Because
That's
your
nuts.
opponent's going down 13, you were going up 13.
That's really
that alone
securing
can
the
just
game.
win a game.
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
it could.
Plus, you can draw a card that could help secure that way.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause
say,
with
say you did have that 5 blood power.
Yeah.
And you did it. That means you could grab a good card that's like a defensive, like a not this time or something like that. So it can
Absolutely.
really just help hold that. lead.
You'd really be screwing your opponent over if you took not this time. Because if you think about it, I mean, I don't know. There's probably a statistical average of how much damage you'll probably deal per turn.
Yeah.
I would guess it's somewhere around like 7.
Yeah, 7 to 8.
7,
with
8.
her,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So that means if you dealt the full 13 and healed the full 13, it takes your opponent roughly 2 more attacks on average to get you back down to where you were.
And then if you took not this time, then that's blocking.
That's blocking 6,
so
which
that's
is
like
almost
an
a
extra,
third.
a third turn. Yeah,
Absolutely. You just bought yourself 3 turns.
Yep, and then you
That's
could just like
nuts.
glamour spam in that time, dealing 21 damage. altogether, undefendable.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible. Okay, cool. All right, so we're looking at defense. We need to take a look at our defense.
Her defense is relatively weak, but at the same time, it's kind of strong. So her defense is roll 3 dice.
Okay.
If you roll double A's,
Oh, it's kind of like Rogue's
you
defense.
inflict bleed. If you roll double B's,
Yep.
it's gain blood power.
Okay.
And if you roll a 6, this is unlimited 6s, so you could roll 3 6s. It's steal 1 health,
Okay. Oh, nice.
which is really strong.
yeah.
And
Because you're
then
already like having potential to heal.
here's the
and stuff.
thing about her.
Okay.
Is at most you can only get 2 of these things.
This is
At most, but typically you'll roll. You're guaranteed something.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed something. There is no possibility where you won't get something.
Right. Because
right?
you're either gonna roll 1 6
But-
and yeah.
You'll most likely get 1 thing, maybe 2 if you roll 6 paired with something.
Fair enough. Okay, that makes sense. Because like with Rogues, it's all doubles,
Yes.
but it's all opposite doubles if I remember
Yes.
correctly. So
But she rolls more dice. But the thing is, your defense is bad because of the reason that you can only get 1 thing, maybe 2
Right.
at most, and that 2 is just a steal on top of either a bleed or a blood power.
okay.
Right.
Okay.
It's either bleed, blood power with a steal on top. That's all she can get at most. The only other thing she can get more than that is multiple steals, and then
Okay.
you're not getting a bleed or a blood power. And like on surface level, it's not that strong because a bleed by itself.
Sure.
Blood power is 3 delta.
Yeah.
But like if you didn't roll the 6, it's just 3 delta, right?
Sure.
There's other defenses that do a lot more, right? And then steal health is good. That's 2 delta. But again, it's not the strongest defense in the world. But what it helps is it helps set up your offense.
Yeah.
That's where it's good, right? And so people will hit your defense because it's really not that threatening to hit into. And
True.
that's true. It's not like when you're playing against Vampire Lord, right? Like you can hit her defense freely, and you really don't have much to stress about. Literally, the only thing you have to worry about against a Vampire Lord is she has a super niche condition, which is if you have 1 health left and you hit a Vampire Lord defense, if she rolls a 6, she'll steal your health, and the abilities on the board happen before damage is done. So she will steal the health before damage is done, so she will win the game.
Oh, interesting.
So that is a warning for people playing against Vampire Lord and Necro, who are the
Yeah.
only 2 characters that can steal health on their defense, is don't hit their defense if you're at like 1 or 2 health,
Sure.
because they could just straight up beat you before your attack goes through.
Okay. And that's extra fascinating because if you're playing tournament play, the remaining health that you have is sort of a secondary scoring system.
Yeah, but the remaining health doesn't matter if you lost.
No, that's what I'm saying. For
Yeah.
Vampire Lord, she's not taking the final attack.
Nope, she won't tie.
Yeah.
So it's
Interesting.
something to look at when you're playing against Vampire
Yes.
Lord. But
And
other than-
obviously it doesn't
but, like,
matter to you because like you're losing the game against her anyway. Well, it could.
No, you're
depending on
not
the ranking.
losing the game. The thing is, you're on offense, so
Yeah.
like you have the choice to not hit her defense. So I'm just warning people, like, oh, her defense isn't that good. I'm just warning you, if you're down to like 1 health or something, be aware of her defense because she
Oh.
could just straight up beat you without you realizing.
Well,
I've
this
seen a
is
lot
true.
of
This is
people
true.
lose
Right.
to a Vampire Lord with 1 health, thinking that like, oh, she steals 1 health, that's 1 damage back to me. So worst case, we tie, right? It's not a tie.
Well,
You lose.
yeah, but that's assuming that you have the ability to get to an undefendable damage option.
Well,
or
yeah,
something,
but I'm just saying it's very niche.
right.
But it's something to be aware of.
Yeah.
Because I just said her defense isn't that like you can hit into it freely and really not worry about much.
Right.
Because you can't. It's just if you're at like 1 or 2 health left, you can be a little worried.
Yeah,
right?
you-
Have a
you
mod
should
to
be.
get rid of a 6 or something. It's
If she's
something
got
you
a
have to
6
worry
it in her hand and she happens to roll a 6, you're in a scary situation.
Yep. So that's just something to be aware of. But other than that, her defense is pretty weak. It just sets up her on.
Yeah,
Right?
that
The
makes
bleed could give you your second bleed, which could give her a eventual blood power, or the blood power. Of course, is 3 delta.
Yeah.
So like that could turn into a heal, or yeah. So
sense. No, that makes sense. All right, cards.
all right. Do we want to do upgrades or her ability?
Yeah, let's start with upgrades.
Upgrades, sure.
Yeah.
First off, I think I like to do these in the order of the weakest to strongest.
Okay.
Her weakest is her mini ult upgrade.
Okay.
It gives you an extra blood power and deals an extra damage, which is good. And the fallback is good too.
Hemorrhage.
Yes, hemorrhage.
Hemorrhage.
Wait, what's hemorrhage say?
Hemorrhage says inflict 2 bleed and deal 2 collateral damage to all opponents.
Not that good.
It's not that good. It's
You
the
can't
classic-
modify collateral.
Oh,
So
sure.
you can't even add blood power to it.
So it's kind of one of those classic situations of like, is it something that's nice to have if you were in one of those rare situations where you're playing like a multiplayer game? Yeah, sure, but
here's the thing about Vampire Lore. Almost all of her upgrades are decent. So like even if you paid to that, it's not even that bad because the mini gives you a whole extra blood power and an extra damage. That's 4 delta for 2 CP.
Sure.
That's a lot of value.
that's
So
good. Yeah.
That's a card I like to play. Rend. This one's 2 CP, and Rend, all it does is it has, again, a kind of strong ability. You roll 5 dice instead of 3.
Oh, wow. So you're, adding 2
So
potential there.
You very much increase your chance of both getting a card draw and a blood power and just doing around like an average of 2 more damage.
Sure. Absolutely.
So-
Ren being the AAACC ability.
Though most games, I just flat up said, this is an ability card that I will sell most games,
Sure.
unless if I got one other upgrade.
Oh.
I'm going to go to the upgrade now because this upgrade is, in my opinion, I buy every game.
Okay.
And it's not for it's the large straight upgrade. And you're not buying it for the large straight upgrade because all the large straight upgrade does is it's the exact same thing. Gain blood power, inflict bleed, deal 8 damage. The difference is it's deal 8 undefendable. Straight
Oh.
up. You don't have to spend
You don't have to have the mesmerize,
Okay.
which is great because
That's
we didn't want to
great.
focus on that.
But again, you're saving mesmerize for it already, so it doesn't really matter. What
I suppose that's
matters
true.
is the fallback, which is AACC
Okay.
dash. AACC is rend minus 1 dice.
Right.
Making it where you can chase rend
Yeah.
and have a fallback. If you have 2 6s, you can chase rend
Yeah.
because you have this. Because the fallback is gash, deal 5 undefendable.
Okay. Just straight up.
5 undefendable, which of course can turn
Plus
into
your,
8,
yeah, I was going
right?
to say, yep.
And so when you have this upgrade, it makes it where, like I said, rend is a strong ability. It's just you have the chance to whiff it. When you have this upgrade, you have it is a strong ability. 5 undefendables, 8 undefendable. That's good. That's just a good turn of damage, right?
Absolutely.
And it's a fallback to rend, so now you can chase rend more reliably. So my advice
You're increasing the possibility that,
So-
or you're lowering the possibility of a whiff.
So my advice is when you get the large straight upgrade, you're buying it immediately.
Sure.
This is a strong ability.
Okay.
If you don't have the large straight upgrade, I'm selling the rend upgrade. Okay?
Got it.
But if you do have the large straight upgrade and you have the CP to pay for the rend upgrade, pay for the rend upgrade because now you can more chase it and this has a lot of value in it. This rend is this upgrade is really strong. It's just you not wanting to chase it normally, so that's why I say sell it. But if you have this fallback now, gash,
Right.
you can chase rend safely now,
Got it.
and the fallback is still really good.
And
So-
you'll be hitting glamour so much that you're gonna have the CP
Yeah.
to spare.
The only thing is, like I've said with every character with upgrades, is like once you get to the point where it's like, how many turns left do I think? Do I think it's 2, 3, or less turns? You're probably not upgrading.
Oh,
those
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
You're probably saving it
Just
for
across the board.
You're saving it for mods or your strong cards.
Yep.
Right? So, but that's just the general advice for this stuff.
Yep.
Next up, we'll go for the crazy part is every other upgrade I'm holding are all great. So yeah, so let's just go over their defense upgrade.
Yep.
It's the exact same defense upgrade. You roll 4 dice,
Oh, so you're adding another dice on.
which means you now have the potential to get both effects.
Right.
You can get the bleed and the blood power, or get a couple more 6s or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's a good upgrade. I always get it.
Okay.
Unless if your opponent doesn't hit your defense months, then you just sell it.
Yeah.
So that's just
Which
the
again, general rule of thumb.
general rule. If they have a good upgrade, if your opponent doesn't hit you a lot, sell it. So,
Yep. Okay.
next up, we'll go with a small straight. Remember how I said we'll fix the problem of it being 50-50 bleed, 50-50?
Yes.
Okay. Deal 8 damage, so damage has gone up 1.
Yep.
And then inflict bleed or gain mesmerize.
Oh, wonderful.
You can just choose bleed every time, and that's what you're
until
looking
you hit the
for,
stack
right?
limit.
And it adds a damage too.
Absolutely.
And it also goes for the straight, which
Yep.
you already said is something you like. So chasing small straight, this is a definite upgrade because it gives you that guaranteed bleed and also sets you up that if you're chasing that large straight, you have this and this is
to fall back on. Absolutely. No, that makes
and
sense.
then it has a fallback called draw blood, which is AAC. You're never going to do it. It just gives you 2 blood power.
Sure.
Not really worth it.
I mean, if it's there and like, man, you really
You're
screwed
only
up.
grabbing after you really screwed up.
You screwed up chasing Rend or something like that. Yeah.
All right, next up, glamour upgrade.
Okay.
This one is usually always bought because it's simple in what it does. It's the exact same thing as glamour, but instead of 4 undefendable, it's now 5 undefendable.
Okay.
The thing you're spamming now just has one more damage to it.
It's because you're doing it so often.
Yes. And
Okay.
you're still getting that CP and this stuff. It has a fallback, which is ABB, called Influence, which is gain mesmerize and inflict 2 bleed on a chosen opponent.
Oh,
You're really never going to do that.
I was going to say, by the time you would upgrade this, you're already probably doing okay on the bleed stuff.
Yeah, so you're never going to use the fallback, but the upgrade to glamour, if you're playing on glamour spamming your opponent, this is a really good upgrade because that's just 1 more damage.
Sure. I could see a scenario where it's like the literal beginning of the game.
You put 2 bleed on
You
them.
upgrade, you do the bleed, now
The
it's
thing
done.
is, the bleeds could just roll off.
Like they use something to get rid of them?
No, because remember when you roll for bleed at the start of your turn.
Oh, sure,
a 5
that's
through
true.
6 removes each bleed, so they could just roll 2 6s and then both those bleeds, and so now your whole turn was mesmerize.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not really worth it.
No, that's fair.
Next up, Sanguimancy. Remember, base Sanguimancy is heal 2, gain 3 blood power. Sanguimancy upgrade is heal 3, gain 3 blood power.
Oh, okay. So we got another heal and another blood power.
No, blood power is the same. It's just
Sorry,
heal
it was
1
3
more.
blood power. Okay, my bad.
Where this upgrade is good is the fallback. It is ABCC, which gives
Ooh, okay.
another way you can roll into from Rend.
Okay.
Right? You
Yep.
can chase Rend with this one as well because you could fall into it.
We're buying a lot of upgrades for their backups to Rend.
because Rend's a good ability.
Sure,
but
sure.
the backup is gain 2 blood power,
Okay.
draw a card.
Oh, ooh, fancy.
So it's just like the heal and gain blood power. It's 2 blood power and draw a card.
Yeah.
Which the drawing 2 cards is 3 blood power.
That's
So
true.
In a sense, it's kind of doing the same thing, but it's also a fallback if you're chasing Rend or something. This is a good upgrade. Everyone usually upgrades this like turn 1, turn 2, but after turn 1, turn 2, because Sanguimancy and Presence are setups.
Yeah.
But after like the first 2 turns, less of the game's going to be a long game.
Right.
But after the first 2 turns, you're really not going to do Sanguimancy anymore. So you probably ought to sell this. But if you get this turn 1, you could do a couple Sanguimancies in the game, and that's good for you. So get
It's a good way to build things
early.
up. Yeah.
Get this upgrade early, or just don't get it after you already do 1 Sanguimancy. You're probably never going to do it more than once, so that card's not really worth it.
Got it. Yep.
Finally, I say these for last because. So do you remember Moon Elf?
Yes.
Where I said her strongest upgrades were her basic attacks.
Okay. Yep.
You remember that?
Yes.
And I think I mentioned there's only one other character where her strongest upgrades are her basic attacks.
It's
That's Vampire.
It's Vampire Lord. Okay.
Because remember when we were doing the math for basics, it's 3, 5, 7, but technically that's 6, 8, 10, which is a lot for a basic. 10 for a basic's insane, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't read it before on Gouge, her basic, but it's if you get 4 of a kind, it's gain blood power. You're never really going to get 4 of a kind, and don't chase it.
The likeliness is pretty
Don't chase
low.
it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you might as well chase it. We're talking the A's, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if you got 3 rolls,
but the thing is, it's better to go for a max roll.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Than like chase 4 of a kind, and then that ends up turning to like a B. And that means now you're doing 2 less damage because you're chasing the blood power.
This is fair. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's what
okay.
I'm saying.
I see what you're saying.
But it helps because the first upgrade, her basic has 2 upgrades. The
Oh,
first one costs 1 CP. The second one costs 2 CP.
okay.
Right? The first one, the damage stays the same. 3, 5, 7. All it changes is gain a blood power on 3 of a kind.
3 of a kind. Okay, so we're increasing the likeliness
And
that
the
we get that
thing
blood
is,
power.
3 of a kind with all A's is
It's pretty reasonable, yeah.
It's reasonable. And again, you don't really have to chase it. Chances of rolling into it with all A's is not 100%, but
Yeah.
it's around like
You have a 50% chance to get
an extra
an
blood power.
A
Right.
in general on, well, hold on, I don't know if about that, man. But you have a 50% chance to roll an A, period, across the board. And then within A's, there's only 3 numbers,
Yep.
you know.
So the odds of them being at least 3 of the same, because guaranteed 2 of them are going to be the same. So you'll at least have 2 2s and 2 3s or 2 2 1s or 2, whatever. Because of 5 dice, you
Yeah.
can't have 1 of each unless if you have a 3 of a kind.
Right.
So
Guys, I'm just going to be honest with you. Neither Bill or I are mathematicians or have any extensive stuff with math. If you know the answer to what the odds are of getting the 3 of a kind with all A's, feel free to comment it.
I'm
Love
sure
to
it's
hear
out
it.
there because a lot of
It's
characters
100%
have the
out there.
4 of a kind and 3 of a kind.
Somebody, I mean, board
right.
games notoriously
Yeah.
are a very like cool spot for nerds and people that are a lot smarter than us for sure.
Finally, the final upgrade.
Yes.
The second upgrade, Gouge 3,
Okay.
for her basic. It is the exact same, except it is 4 damage, 6 damage, 8 damage.
Okay, so
Being
you-
3 of a kind gets a blood power.
Okay.
So add our 3, it's 7, 9, 11.
Wow.
So she could be hitting for 11.
Which is more than her old, technically.
Yeah.
By base, just, I mean, obviously
Yeah,
it's
no,
not.
but it's
old.
more than her large straight.
I guess it's not more
No,
than her old.
Remember, her
technically.
large straight is 8 damage and a blood power. You get a blood power, so it's 11 damage.
Right.
This has the potential to do the exact same as your large straight. And if you roll 3 of a kind, which again we said is kind of common if you're rolling all A's, right? So this has the same damage potential as your large straight,
Yes.
and it's a basic.
Right. Wow.
People will, when they play Vampire Lord, if they have this in their opening hand, they will just spam. They will do like single mancy, and instead of doing glamour spam, they will just spam basics the whole game because there's so much damage.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And it's so easy to get.
Exactly.
It's just a bunch of A's.
Also, it's 2 CP. It's not even that expensive for a really strong upgrade.
Doesn't it cost less if you have the other upgrade though?
It costs 1 less.
Yeah. So then it's like 1 and then 1.
That's if you drew that one before it. If
That's
you-
true.
Yeah. So.
That's, lucky odds on the draw, but
Yeah.
wow.
So, yeah. So
Okay,
those
fair
are her
enough.
upgrades. And if you probably didn't notice, almost all of them I'm like, you can buy. And the thing is, you can fuel that with glamour, which gives you extra CP. You do like
Absolutely.
3 glamours a game, you're already paying for like 2 upgrades.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's totally fair.
All right, now we're gonna get to her cards.
All right. So
She's
we
got
obviously have all the standard cards,
6. Yep, all standard cards, and then
which we might bring up. I don't think
we
we'll go
will
through-
bring them up.
Yeah.
With her alt.
Yes.
So,
yes. So
I'll start with the worst one.
okay.
Consume blood.
Okay.
Spend up to 2 blood power, then gain 2 CP for each blood power.
Oh. Okay.
You see why this card sucks?
I mean, you're just gaining a bunch of CP, but I feel like you're losing value on the blood powers.
You are, because blood power is 3,
Yeah.
and you're getting 2 CP, so you're losing 1 value.
I mean, man, what circumstances you need to be in that you're so
Also, remember,
starved for
just
CP.
selling this card is 1 CP.
Right.
So,
and also, you're going to be spamming glamour the whole
you
game.
lose value playing this card.
Yeah.
You get more value out of this card by selling it.
Savage, man.
So,
Wow. Okay.
Consume blood is an auto sell because of the value of it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before, I see where this card was decent before the change, because 2 CP for blood power, when blood power was 2 damage before,
Yeah.
the value of this card was the
equal.
same. But
Mhm.
now that blood power is 3, this card loses you value, so you sell it.
That's a fascinating, because we've had some people that reached out to us and asked about an episode where we take a lot of those changes and kind of analyze like what that looks like in the grander scheme. This is a fascinating situation. Like, you'll have abilities or tokens and stuff that have been upgraded. There's some that have actually been nuked a little bit, but a lot of times they upgrade it to make it better, but it's funny that there's sometimes things that get caught up in the proverbial
because they only can
wreckage.
change the leaflet.
Yes.
So some cards or something kind of get ruined
Right.
because of it. And that's a
Right.
great example.
That's a great
Consumed
example
Blood
of
is
it.
a great example of the buff, the blood power, which
Yes.
was needed. Root made a card useless.
And to be fair, one card getting lost in that probably a lot.
If, say for example, she has
Significantly
6 unique hero cards.
Right.
If, for example, half of them sucked,
Yeah.
it'd be a problem, but the other 5 are all really good.
Okay.
So it makes one being really bad evens out because the other 5 are really
Totally fair. It's like any character, right? Any hero within Dice Throne, they have to balance it. And
Right.
so this is the balance.
Next up, and I'm going to go in the order from like weakest to strongest, right? Next up, this one is one you'll like to play, but it's expensive.
Okay.
And this problem falls in a lot of the earlier season characters, season 1, season 2, where they have these expensive 4-cost cards. It gives you a
Ooh.
lot of value. This one costs 4, and it gives you a lot of value. But sometimes you can't afford that CP, especially with how good her upgrades are, right?
Sure.
So this one is 4 CP called
Well,
Dark
what do you mean
Omen.
you can't afford it? You could get the other card and
Yeah,
get
you
rid
could
of 2
sell
blood
it. Yeah,
power to
yeah,
get a bunch
no.
of CP.
So this card gives you Mesmerize,
Oh boy. Okay.
2 blood power,
Oh, all right.
and then puts a bleed on your opponent.
Okay.
This card's decent, especially if like you're near the end of the game.
So you're getting a little bit of everything from your
Yeah, this
leaflet,
card's
basically.
decent if like say you're near the end of the game and you have a little surplus of CP. Maybe spammed a bunch of glamours.
Okay.
And your opponent has 1 bleed on them. You can play this card. You'll get 2 blood power, which could bump you up to like 4,
Right.
which you could heal. And then you put another bleed on your opponent. Now they have 2, so you're guaranteed to get a blood power as well after attacking them. And
Absolutely.
so this card has value.
Yes.
And the nice part about these expensive 4 CP cards, like for example, we talked about Luna. We said it was bad because if your opponent's holding what stat, I said flat up, I said you wait to see if they play what status effect, and if they haven't, you usually don't want to play this card.
Right.
The nice thing about this card is the value can be used on your turn.
Right.
So you can be using that blood power to like on your turn to heal or to deal extra damage. Sure, you can only use one of the 2, but like say for example, you had 3 blood power and your opponent has 1 bleed on them. If you play this card, your blood power is now at stack, meaning you can do the max damage and potentially heal, and you get 1 blood power back as well because your opponent now has 2. Like,
yes.
if you're not in that dream scenario, like you draw this card early, you're probably just going to sell it, right?
Yeah.
Because you need that CP early for like upgrades and other cards, right?
Yeah.
But like if it's late game and you have 3 blood power or 2 blood power and a bleed on your opponent, this card can really swing it. Also, that Mesmerize could even go into like you hit large straight. Now it's undefendable and you could heal off of that. And this card has a lot of value.
Yes.
It's just a little more niche on timing and stuff. So you usually are, most often you're selling it than playing it, but there's some scenarios where you can play it and you're like, oh, sick. This is a perfect time. This card's great. Other times you're selling it, and that's why it's there at the bottom. But again, it has situations where it's really strong.
Right. Nope, that makes sense.
Next up, Bloodletting. This is actually one of her strongest, but her 4 abilities are all strong. Their 4 cards are like S
You
tier.
left the really good ones.
These are all S tier
for the
cards. You're
end.
playing them every game. This one you're playing every time. I don't know why you would never. It gives you a CP. It's free. Gives you a CP and a blood power.
My gosh.
So like free blood power. That's what it is. And a free CP. Like this is everything you
You're
want.
biting a dude,
Yeah.
sucking his blood out,
Yeah,
and
bloodletting.
stealing his wallet.
Yeah. It's great.
I
Vampire
love it.
stuff.
That's amazing.
Next up, Blood Flow. This one costs 1 CP. You roll a dice, and then half of it you get in blood power.
oh,
it's like
so it's
Vegas,
kind of like
baby.
Vegas, but yeah.
But of blood power.
Okay, I like
This-
it.
Card though is insanely strong if you roll a 5 or a 6, because that's 3 blood power. So you paid 1 CP for 9 delta. It's an
Oh.
insane card.
Okay, I
This
like that.
card I need to talk about right now. You mentioned you hit an ult early and you get 2 blood power, but say you're like 2 blood power short of getting a heal. You can dig through your deck for this card.
Oh, it's red. I was
It's
that's what I
red.
wanted to make
It's
sure.
an instant.
It's an
You
instant.
can spend it. No, that's very important. I did not say that with the last one, the
Yeah.
Bloodletting. It's blue. It's a mean phase
Okay,
action,
mean
so you
phase.
can't
Okay.
dig for this one. But you could dig for Blood Flow. Roll it, and then if you roll 3 or higher,
Yes,
you
just
you
nuked your
you heal.
opponent.
You get a heal,
Yeah.
guaranteed. It's such a good card. It's an instant, so like you can swing it anytime, and your opponent doesn't think you're gonna your opponent doesn't think you're going to heal, so they don't use any of their blocks or whatever,
Right.
or they don't use their defensive stuff, and all of a sudden you drop this guy bad boy, you swing a heal
Yes.
and an extra 3 damage with it.
And since bye-bye is banned, you don't
Yes.
have to worry about getting wiped or whatever else.
Well, actually, funny thing about that, bye-bye, if we're talking for bye-bye, the people who play bye-bye, you're actively going, so they can't bye these because they're instantly spent.
Oh,
so,
that's true.
You'll be able to play these no matter if.
Oh,
bye-bye or
wow.
not, so.
Holy cow. Okay. Wow.
So.
This is brutal.
Finally, the last 2, I saved them because they're 2 of a kind in what they do. So the
Okay.
first one's called Blood Boil. You add 1 damage, and then additionally add 1 more damage for each bleed your opponent has.
Which could be a maximum of 2.
So you could do up to 3 with this card.
Right.
And then the other one's called Limb for Limb. It costs 1 CP. You roll 5 dice.
Okay.
Every A symbol adds 1 damage.
Okay. These are attack modifiers.
Yes.
Both of them?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you roll at least 3, a bleed is added as well.
Nice. Okay.
All right. Now, where do you think these 2 cards? Why do you think I saved these 2 for last as like the strongest cards?
Remind me what. Oh.
One adds 3 damage for 0 CP.
Okay.
Well, adds 1 to 3 based on bleeds, and the other one could add up to 5 and has the chance to add a bleed as well. Why do you think I saved these?
The second one is a good earlier game card because you want to really get those bleeds on as fast as you possibly can.
Mhm.
And then the other one is a great mid to later where you have those bleeds locked in and you're activating it. What am I missing? Oh yeah. Because you're already modifying with your blood power. Now you're tacking on even more.
You could add around 3 damage and
Yeah.
up to 5 damage.
Holy
and say
cow.
you played these with your alt.
That's nuts.
Some people, it depending on the game.
I mean,
if
you're
you think,
lucky if you
you
get
think
it.
you're going to get to an alt, well, I don't know. I wouldn't say luck it with Vampire
well,
Lord.
yeah, because you can
because
pull
you
the
can
card.
specifically hold cards planning to go for an alt. Because like I said, you want to get at least 1 alt a game to like your chances of winning with Vampire Lord skyrocket.
Yes.
If you can hit 1 alt a game.
Sure.
So you are planning. You are always waiting to see those 6s and you're holding the cards waiting for this. Because of that, you are holding these 2 cards and you're waiting until you hit your alt because then you can drop these 2 cards
Right.
on top of your damage to heal even more. So you remember how we said 26? If you added 3 and you could add a potential 5, so it was 13.
You're
we
up to
add
30.
8, you're
Oh,
at
yeah.
21. You're at 21 damage.
Times 2.
13.
Hold on.
My math's wrong. You know, it's
13.
21. Times 2 is 42.
42.
You could have a 42 swing.
Holy cow.
Now, mind you, this is dream scenario. Most cases, you're really only
Well,
going to
yeah.
have 1 of these. But here's the even crazier part. Say it's late game.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
You have a ton of blood power. You hit your ult. Your opponent has some bleeds. You could dig through your deck to grab Limb for Limb, which is
Yeah.
the one that could add up to 5 damage. And for your search ability, you could search for this card to add more to your heal.
Right. Because if you've already got your 5 bleeds, you're good to go. You don't need the other card that gets you more bleeds.
Or blood powers. Yes,
Or blood power, sorry,
exactly.
sorry,
So that's
sorry.
why late game, you could search for one of these to add more damage, which adds more delta to your
Right.
value. So that's
Oh
another
my
thing you can do with
gosh.
that search function.
40, what was it? 42?
Yeah,
Holy
42.
cow. I'm still reeling from that one time I almost nailed a dude for, what was it, like 25 damage. And to think that the Vampire Lord can get all the way up to 42.
Delta value.
Well, delta value, this is true. Which, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
Of course, that's dream scenario.
Yeah, dream scenario. Yeah,
but-
you got to have like the stars have aligned.
You have to have all the blood power, and then you have to have these 2 modifiers in your hand. So
Yeah.
it's but that is mostly Vampire Lord. And so now kind of dive more into what your game plan is with it.
Okay.
First off, the game really centers around her ult. And like I said, hitting the ult once a game is game winning.
It's perfectly ideal.
So when you're looking, if you roll like 2 to 3 6s on that first turn, you're just like, and you have the cards. Like, I'm not saying chase ult if you don't have the cards. Like, if you have the cards, and the thing is, you're probably saving them. You'll be fine with your opponent hitting big abilities because you're not modding their stuff. You're just waiting to hit your ult.
I was gonna say this seems like one of those characters where it's more worthwhile or less worthwhile to mess with your opponent's dice in an
The
attempt.
nice thing is this character, you can actually even save your cards that mess with the other people's subs helping hand. You really can't do anything. But like you'd say, tip it so wild, twice as wild, because you has mesmerize.
What? Mesmerize is more useful.
Mesmerize can be used as that, since you don't want to use those cards to mess with your opponent's stuff. You can spend mesmerize to mess with your opponent's stuff, and you're not losing those high cards that help you get your ult.
Absolutely.
Right?
Okay.
So that helps you out a little more. It adds a little more value to mesmerize because of the fact you want to go for it.
You want to focus on getting that ult.
And again, hitting ult's good. Now let's just talk about our ult because it's very important.
Okay.
What cards do you search for?
You want the attack modifier. Wait, sorry, hitting the ult?
Yeah, you hit the ult. What cards are you searching for when you hit the ult?
Yes, you want the one that either gives you the more blood power, or you want one of the 2 attack modifiers, more than likely.
Yep.
You might.
There's 2 cards that are even more valuable than those.
There's thinking. You
We
might
already mentioned one.
Not this time.
Yep,
okay.
That's one of them because that's an extra 6 health. That just helps you, gives you an whole extra turn like we talked about.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think.
There's one that's the best card in Dice Dome. Every deck has it.
Is it one of like your draw? No? Huh. It's definitely not one of your CP gainers. That wouldn't make any sense. Shoot, what else is there? I mean, obviously we talked about all of our dice modifiers.
It is one of them.
It is one of them. What am I thinking of? Is it? It's not 6-it, is it? No, not tip it. That wouldn't make any sense. Better D? No.
What's the strongest mod card?
Twice as wild?
Yep.
Okay.
You grab twice as wild. That's usually what you grab when you grab it.
Is this so that you can try to go for another ult or what?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
When I mentioned I mentioned what's her strongest ability, it's her ult because it is the damage that can't be blocked. It's a full heal, right?
Yes.
So imagine doing that twice in a game.
This is true.
This is like a
you better have the blood power,
and
though.
that's why typically when you first ult with Vampire Lord,
right,
you aren't even really grabbing the blood one or whatever. You grab that stuff later in the game. You're grabbing twice as wild the first time because it either will save your butt if your opponent's hitting like an ult and you need it, or you can hit a second ult, and then by that time, when you hit the second ult, it'll be later in the game. You'll probably have a stack of blood power,
right?
And you'll probably have those. Like I told you, you're saving those damage adding cards in your hand as well, because in case if you hit an ult. And if you have twice as wild, you know the potential of getting another ult is there. So you're going to hold those cards because of that future potential.
Right.
So,
okay,
twice as wild is the card you are looking for, right?
Got it.
And the best part about this is a lot of characters, when they let you search through the deck to grab a card, you have to reveal what it was to your opponent.
Oh, sure.
You don't have to here. So
unless
thing is, most people is the most likely when you search your deck, they know you're grabbing twice as wild.
Sure.
Because it's the best card to go for.
That's fair.
But the thing is, you don't have to tell your opponent. So.
You don't, but they could ask you.
They could ask you.
Just emphasize.
Just to reiterate, you don't have to tell them if they ask you.
I know they're a mesmerizing vampire lord. I know they're hypnotizing you. Snap yourself out of it. Slap yourself if you need to, gently. Don't be weird. And
so, I will now. I think now is a good time for me to say. I should have said this at the start, but a lot of this advice came from Stella.
Yes,
who we have mentioned before a few times.
Absolutely,
as being a really high level playing. She's the only person to win twice in Penal and Freehawks.
Hey yo,
so only 2-time champ.
Nicely done.
Wasn't back to back, but she's the only one who's won twice. No one else has won twice. And Vampire Lord is one of her favorite characters.
Awesome.
So when we were talking about doing Vampire Lord, I was talking to her and she made me a whole guide. Almost all of this advice I've given so far was from her. She flat up said right here, when you ult, the priority order for your cards is twice as wild, not this time, or you grab the card that gives you blood power if you can't get the heal.
Sure.
Because that one I think is priority one because you want to make the heal value is insane.
Absolutely.
Because one of her biggest advice, and I asked her, and almost everything I've talked about so much is everything she said. She said the defense is underrated, but it's really strong because of the potential value. Her rolling is awkward at first, but the more you play the character, the more you learn what to go for and how to roll. And that's where I say experience helps a lot with this character.
Right.
You learn the pathways the dice will lead you and what's good and what kind of is like who whips. Where do you whip in this character, right? she talked about the unique cards, and I just talked about how all of them are really strong. And then she said, just don't play that one bad one, right?
Yeah.
But she said, and this is, then I asked her, and she also did mention ignore rend. Don't go for rend unless if you have that large straight fallback that I talked about. Then you can go for rend a lot more safely.
Okay.
But then I asked her, what is the biggest thing you need to remember when you're playing Vampire Lord? And this is what she said, the most important thing to remember. Her heal is the strongest effect. It's not even close. That is the strongest effect of this character.
Right.
Save the heal for if you ult, and if you can't ult, know your opponent and know if they have ways to mitigate damage. Their defense can block damage.
Yep.
They have evades or agilities or illusions with Loki. Because you don't want to spend 4 blood power, which is 12 delta, to whiff.
Yes.
So whiff that attack and you lose all 4 of those tokens, right?
Right.
You lose 12 value.
Or to make that attack, but do no damage.
Correct.
Right.
But here's the thing. Not every character has this. There's a lot of characters that have no block on their defense, and they have no way to evade damage. Pyromancer, for example, is a great example.
Right.
No block on defense, will take every form of damage.
Right.
So,
really quick, just to emphasize, heal is not blocking damage.
correct. And that is
So
very
that's
important.
also
So she's
important
really
too.
good, like Barbarian.
Yeah, if Barbarian comes in and he rolls
or
perfect, and
we have Mystic Brawler.
Yeah.
Mystic Brawler now does heal instead of block.
Yes.
So there's a new character
That's
she's
not-
actually pretty good.
that's not damage that was
Because
stopped. It's
yes,
damage that
it's
was regenerated.
Successfully dealt damage.
Yes.
So that's
you
very important.
maxed out that damage. You did it as Vampire Lord, and then they healed.
And that is
back.
a very important. I'm glad you mentioned
Yes.
that because that does matter versus characters who block.
right.
Now,
yes.
here's the thing. We'll
Yes.
take the Pyromancer, for example. This is a question. I like putting these questions to you because it also gives the audience a chance
And I
to
played
think,
Pyromancer quite a
to
bit.
think for themselves what the answer is, right?
Okay.
It gives them time to get while you answer, right? So, Pyromancer, like I said, her defense can't block anything. She has no evade. She has no agility.
Deals a lot of damage, but
Does a lot of damage. But what is the one thing to look out for? Because why can't you freely spend your heal every time you can when you against a Pyromancer? I'll give you help.
Yeah.
This applies to every character, not just Pyromancer. Why can't you freely spend your heal? What do you have to look out for?
the not this time.
Exactly. Because not this time can be played after you choose to add the heal.
Right.
So they could, players playing against Vampire Lord, and this is also
And that's 6 damage.
yes, and that's 6 blocking. So they're losing 6 heal, right? This is also advice for Vampire Lords, but also people facing Vampire Lords. Hold not this time until they're trying to do a heal. Because though the order of operations in Dice Stone is if your opponent does an action in the damaging phase,
Yep.
you can always make a response.
Okay.
All right. So if a Vampire Lord says, all right, you did your attack, your agilities all fade, your evades all failed, I'm going to heal. Not this time.
Right.
They now lose out 6 value of that heal because you have not this time.
Okay.
Every character has not this time.
Yes.
This is Stella's number one piece of advice. Save your heal for an ult, or if not this time has been played.
Got it. Okay. So once they've already thrown away not this time.
And of course, that's with some characters. This is knowing matchups and stuff, because some characters, they'll have evades, agilities. They'll have some cards that add
Yeah.
extra blocks. Like they have extra, like, I don't call them not this time, but some characters have like a secondary block card, right?
Yes. Like
So-
Thor.
Thor and vulnerability, that's a
Yeah.
great example. But there's other characters that like Tactician,
Yeah.
Paladin, they have cards that block damage, so you play a straight up block damage, right?
Okay.
So you look out for those past not this time. But for example, Pyromancer, she only has not this time.
Yes.
So once not this time is played, every heal is free game after that.
absolutely.
If you're dealing 11 damage, and not this time's been played against those characters, you deal 11 damage, you're healing 11 damage.
That's right.
There's nothing stopping you, right?
Obviously,
So-
the one downside is that Pyromancer's like all offense on attack, so she'll be dealing damage to you more than likely with her defense, but you're going to heal probably more. In fact, can't think of a scenario where you wouldn't be healing equal to or more than whatever it is that she could possibly
Exactly.
hit you with. So
No, she can only do up to 5. So.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The one final thing. So that was what Stella said. Watch out for not this time.
Right.
It is the biggest trap for the heal.
Okay.
But the other thing she mentioned was keep the bleeds flowing. The status effect by itself sucks, but an extra blood power every turn is what gives you the edge in matchups.
That's 3 delta every turn just for free.
Yep.
As long as you
You're
hit.
not doing anything other than attacking them,
Yeah.
which
You're supposed to be doing
which
anyways.
you're doing anyways, and you're so
Yeah.
so that is very important though,
Wow.
because for
Yeah.
example, Sanglomancy, you're healing and gaining blood power, but if your opponent has 2 bleed, don't do Sanglomancy.
Yes, no, don't
You
lose out on that
want
value.
to hit them because
Yes.
you're going to get an extra blood power. That is 3 value on top of what you just did.
Right.
So don't do Sanglomancy. But if your opponent has like no blood power, then Sanglomancy
Go for it,
has a
yeah.
lot more value, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That was her biggest piece of advice: is keep the blood on top of them. And the thing is, there's not many ways you can keep the blood on your opponent other than the straights, the small straight and the large straight, which is why I said you want to upgrade those, because those are the abilities you really are going to be chasing with her. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless your opponent has a really strong defendable defense, then you're going to kind of want to do more glamours. And
Yeah.
stuff, or Sanglomancies. But overall, that is kind of your main piece of advice. And then the other thing Stella mentioned also was your status effects. You're not really worried about removal
Sure.
because all of your blood powers are instant speed. So if someone plays what status effect on you, you can just spend like, if you had like 5 of them, you could spend 3 of them to just draw 2 cards. Sure, you lose out on 2 value, but you could still draw cards.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying when someone plays a card that would force you to get rid of them, you have the ability to essentially spend them
Because they're instant. And what status effect is a main phase card.
Got
so
it.
instants always act faster than main phase
Okay,
cards.
interesting.
So you can spend, so someone what status is you with like a ton of blood power, you could still draw from them. So you don't lose full value, but you might lose some. Like if you were at 5 and they what status you'll lose 2 blood power,
right.
but you'll still get some value out of it. So
This is really good, and I want this is important for everybody to hear how that works, because I'm imagining every single scenario where I do that exact situation. Someone plays something to remove my status effects, so I'm like, oh, I'll just spend them. They will be pissed every single time.
well, and after it happens to you once, you'll learn. Like it happens with Tactician as well, and Cyclops is another one where like
Right.
all of their status effects can be spent
Yeah.
instantly. So like playing what stats effect is kind of worthless. There is
If
some
you hit them where there's like 2, if you have 2 blood power and you don't get the free card, then there's not really much.
that where it's the number of 2s which you're kind of looking for, because 2 is basically worthless because you can't spend it instantly because it has to be offensively, but what stats is on defense or whatever.
Well, you can remove a status effect technically. With 2.
No, it says during your main phase.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the old
The
one.
upgrade
That's
one
what I
says during your main phase.
Ah, so yeah, it's worth
So,
it. Yeah.
so 2 or 5, because if you spend, they'll get 2 cards, but they'll still lose 2.
5
So-
is actually a good time to do it too,
Yeah,
because you're
because
blocking
they're-
them from
because-
that big.
Because they probably were saving up to do a
Right.
big heal turn the next turn. So playing what status at 5
Right.
is that.
So
So that is
obviously they can
that-
get value out of it with
so
the 2
that is
cards,
what
but-
Stella was getting at with
Yes.
looking out for, is ending your turn with 5, because your opponent could be holding what status and they're like, this card's worthless, but I'm just going to hold it in case if they end a turn with 5.
Yes.
Because also say you had a mesmerize on you, then they're also going to get rid of that on top of the 2 blood power. So that'll be 3 tokens for 2 CP. That's a lot of value.
that is a lot of value. Yeah.
Because remember, 2 blood power is 6, so that is a lot of value.
Yeah.
So be aware of that when you end your turns and stuff. You don't want to be ending at those two numbers, the 2 and the 5, because those are kind of like
Those
and the thing
ideal
is, you
moments.
really shouldn't be ending with 5, because if you're all the way
Yeah,
at
why
4,
didn't you do
you're all the
it?
way, why didn't you spend 3 on the attack?
Yeah,
right? Like
you're going to
should-
lose out on value.
Exactly. So you should have done that. And then the question is, why didn't you use the heal as well with that 3?
Yeah, you bum.
Because you're probably scared enough this time, and that's fair. But like as the game gets to the end game, you kind of have to throw it out.
Yeah.
One play I've done is I somehow managed got blood power really fast, built up really fast. So on turn 2, I had 5, and so I did a heal. I did like I think it was like a Ren for like 8.
Oh.
And then I had a blood power, so I did 11 in the heal, because my opponent only had drawn 1 card to that point. So they had seen only 5 cards. So the odds that they had not this time in their hand, pretty slim.
And that's still 22 delta value.
Yeah, so I pushed it because I don't think they have not this time in their hand. If
Fair
they
enough.
did, cool. But like as the game goes on, they'll probably have not this time, and a good person playing against Vampire Lord will hold that card.
And I will say it is kind of funny when you mention some of these things because, like, for new players, they're like, Rend, okay, it's going to do 8 damage. Like, oh, you know, whatever, I'll let that go through. It's not their ult or whatever else, right? I've got these cards. And then you're like, boom, but I have 5 blood. Again, it takes knowing the character, even from an opponent standpoint.
So I think that's really everything for this character. There's a lot of information.
Yeah, it's a
This
lot of
character is
information.
very complicated, but I guess my biggest piece. We heard Stella's biggest piece of
Yes.
advice. Watch out for not this time and keep the bleeds flowing. right?
Absolutely.
My piece of advice is play the character.
Okay.
If you want to get better at Vampire Lord, play the character. Stella even mentioned that she's got a weird dice anatomy, like board layout,
Mhm.
right? And so you can whiff a lot your first few games, but playing the character more, you learn where you want to go off the first roll. You'll see what it is, and you'll see the numbers and the symbols, and you go, okay, this is the pathway I think I want to go from here based on
Absolutely.
what I have for blood power, the bleeds on the opponent, all that stuff. So
You start playing checkers, and that eventually you play into playing
eventually
chess.
you're a high grandmaster chess player.
Yes, absolutely. So I guess before we do close out, one thing that I always usually ask with these characters is who is this character good against? Who is it not so great against? And we've kind of mentioned it a little bit. We said there's some danger when you're playing against characters that have those additional ways to dodge damage or to block damage.
She's really good against characters that have not this time as their only way to avoid damage.
Right.
Their defense doesn't block anything. They don't have any stats effects that block anything, and not the same zone. She's really good against those characters because once that not this time is out, you get full heals for the rest of the game.
Absolutely.
Ton of value, right?
Yes.
The other characters she's good against is she's really good against characters with strong defenses because she can do the glamour spam, or you can go for large straights with mesmerize and hit a large undefendable attacks.
I feel like we just covered quite a few characters,
Yeah,
quite a few heroes right
She
here.
has a lot of strengths, but she also has a lot of weaknesses.
Yes.
Her economy is decent because she can draw cards, and that's the nice thing.
And she can gain CP.
You can also like pivot your game based on who you're playing against. Like you could try to rush down your opponent where you're always spending blood power to deal 3 more damage, or you could be like, I want to take this game a little more economic, so I'm going to draw every time I have 3 tokens, right? And I'm going to spend time building up to get to an ult because you're like, oh, I need an ult to win. So instead of rushing down 3 damage a turn, I'm now going to draw cards so that I can set up for an ult so that I can get the massive heal swing.
Absolutely.
So it's really it's a push and pull with this character, and it's learning what you want to do, how you want to do it. And like I said, spamming her straights if you get the upgrade is a way you can play the game as well. It's because it's 11 damage a turn. Like
that's huge. That's a lot of damage.
Like,
that's a lot of damage.
So this character is strong, but I think she's regarded as mid-tier because it takes a lot of games to get her up to her full value.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
And her matchups are, she just doesn't do well against characters who have damage, avoidance, status effects. Agilities, evade, smoke bombs, protects, because those players can consistently kind of, if you're facing a Vampire Lord and your character can gain agility, you can gain evades and stuff, you'll just look for abilities that give those to you every turn, because then your Vampire Lord is really never going to have an opportunity. Because it becomes like this little, it's a funny mechanic of how this game works. But basically, you have, say, 2 agilities on your board. Vampire Lord has 5 blood power on her board. She's hitting you for like a 8 damage attack. You roll your defense, you're not blocking anything. And so the Vampire Lord looks at your agilities and she asks herself, do I want to heal, or do I want to see if those agilities fail? On the flip, the person with the agilities, they ask themselves, do I want to roll these agilities to have the damage of the 8, or do I want to keep them on my board to kind of scare her from not doing the heal? And so it becomes this back and forth, because what I said earlier, if you make an action in Dice Throne, your opponent during the damage phase, your opponent always can respond. Yeah. So if Vampire Lord chooses the heal, the opponent can do agility. And if the opponent does agility, she can always respond with healing. So what will happen oftentimes is Vampire Lords will just hold their heal and their damage, and then the other person will just hold their agility. And so they'll just be like, all right, I'm dealing 8 damage to you. And they see if they do the agility, and they go, okay, that goes through. And they'll take the damage. Once they say that goes through, right? Once you say, I'm sending 8 to you, and you say that goes through, meaning I'm not using my agility, Vampire Lord can't go, oh, wait, I'm going to spend my... Nope, it's too late. You just said, I send 8.
Right, because you've already used one.
And if they choose not to respond,
right. Now,
that goes through.
Does that get really complicated when they have 5 blood power and they say, okay, I'm sending 8 damage to you. Now I still have those 4 left over.
Yeah, you have to choose. You have to say you're spending them. And your opponent...
At what point, though?
Anytime during the roll phase. But the thing is, if you say, I'm sending 8 damage,
right,
and your opponent says, all right, that goes through, then if you said, oh, I'm going to heal, then your opponent always has the opportunity to respond to that heal.
So there's just no situation
no situation where you say, I'm going to heal, and your opponent goes, oh, dang, you got me.
Yeah.
No, there's no situation.
Well, unless they don't know how the game is played.
It's true, yeah. But like if they have agilities, they'll wait to see if you heal. And they might use one of them, maybe, to kind of have it, but they're going to keep that other one just to kind of keep you from healing.
If you got 2 on your board already, you got the stack limit at 2, I mean, you're just going to wait until they say heal, and then you're going to be like, boom, I'm going to just use both. And the chances that you get it are pretty high at that point.
Yeah, so agility's 50-50, but but it's... so...
Gotcha.
That is something very important in this game, and it's a funny cat and mouse game. With Vampire Lord versus the characters. But those are the characters who do really well against her because she can spam them. Funny fact, though, in those weird games, if she has a surplus of blood power, I don't really say do this, but she has a surplus. You can also spend 2 to remove like that smoke bomb or that illusion or something, because that way you could open up. So if you're going for like more of a blood power spam of 3 damage a turn, if you're getting that extra, you could also remove it and then just keep putting 3 on them.
This is true.
So you're not really prioritizing the heal that game,
right?
But you're more prioritizing just keeping their status effects down and just dealing 3 damage.
I was gonna say, in a situation, especially when they have agility, like if they have 2 agilities, spend like 2 to get rid of one of them, just so you can, guarantee that and to get more of them back is going to be a whole hassle for your opponent to have to do. Whereas you, as long as you get those 2 bleeds on your opponent, you're just raking in the blood power all day long. You're dealing attacks. You're getting more blood power. All is good. So
exactly. So that's all the advice for Vampire Lord. And in a sense, she kind of has counters for every character.
Okay.
But at the same time, like,
because she's so versatile.
Very versatile, but at the same time, like, characters who get really good economy can kind of stop her, because like I mentioned, you want to hit an ult at least once a game to really increase your chances of winning a lot.
That's
so
fair. Characters
with good economy, they will purposely hold all their cards and wait for your ult as well, because they know you want to hit an ult as well. So.
Nope, that totally makes sense. So before we close out, I do want to say a huge shout out, obviously, to Stella for sending us the amazing strategy, tips and tricks, all that good stuff to help us to give you guys the best possible rundown and hero deep dive that we were able to give the Vampire Lord. So huge, massive thank you, Stella.
Yes, thank you,
really
Stella.
Appreciate that. Also, Bo Powell was the one that did the voice for the Vampire Lord at the beginning. Absolutely stunning, phenomenal job. Bo's information, if you guys want to check her out, is in the episode description. I highly recommend checking that out. But seriously, Bo actually did voice work for our Session Zero Heroes podcast. That'll actually be coming. Actually, the episode she did will be coming out after this one. And so that's funny, but I digress. Phenomenal voice. And it was so good that when I was writing Vampire Lord, I said, I know exactly who could voice this so freaking well. And so I reached out to Bo Powell. I mean, she did it like the next day. She had the lines recorded like the next day and sent them over to me. It was amazing. So huge shout out to Bo Powell. Seriously, thank you so much for helping us out and lending us your amazing vocal talent. Really great stuff. So awesome. With that being said, this makes for the hero deep dive on Vampire Lord another check on the box of the
next
hero
up
dives.
will be
season 3.
Marvel.
Oh yeah, sorry, wow.
Which is the third season, but
season 3,
so Marvel.
yes.
So be looking out for the polls.
Absolutely. And that will be all the Marvel. So you have like the big set, and then you also had the 2 smaller sets that came out alongside of it.
Or the 8-box set.
Yeah. Oh, did they have an 8-box?
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
I've got it right here.
Well, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Did they do it right?
Yeah. The box is right in front of you. It's right here.
Oh, yeah, they did do it right. Okay. I'm just thinking about when they did X-Men and that was oof. Okay. Anyway, okay, yeah. So it'll be Marvel.
So look out for those. We put the
Yes.
polls in Facebook, Reddit, and Discord.
Yes.
And if you're wondering, Discord, I put the poll in the Free Hawks Discord because I I don't want to do polls in the main
Right.
Dice Throne Discord because I feel like they'd get a little mad.
They might get a little bit mad.
Polls
I mean,
in
if
there.
you guys are cool with it from the Dice Throne, if you're a moderator over there,
hey, Jonathan or anyone in the Dice Throne team, if you are cool with me doing the polls in the Dice Throne server, like in the general chat, or even like, hey, even we could do it like in a specialized chat, like I'm just saying, if you guys let us make a special roll phase channel in a server, we wouldn't complain if we could do the polls there, but that's asking a lot.
I get it.
But if you're fine with us doing like the poll in general, or reach out to me, Bill Frosby. I'm in the main Discord. Reach out to me. Let me know where I could do it. Something I'd greatly appreciate. Also, if you have any, like, if you want us as a podcast, to do something special alongside the Dice Throne team as well, reach out to us.
Absolutely.
So
we want to hear from you guys. That would be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, if you guys want to talk to us, if you guys have something that we can help you guys with, we'd love to hear about it. So, but yes, keep an eye out for that. And kind of going along with that, for the Reddit, it's just the Dice Throne subreddit. That's where I post that too. The moderator team has been really cool about letting me post stuff in there, and I really appreciate that. So,
and
shout out to them.
Instagram as well. You just respond in the comments to the
for the Roll Phase podcast. Also, want to emphasize for that, we try to keep it to one vote per person, and it's one hero. Like, pick one hero that you really
some
want to
people
hear.
are responding like 3 characters.
Yeah.
And it's like each poll we only want one vote for a hero. I know you might like multiple.
I know. I
but
get it.
Pick one.
Yes, I for anyone that did post some and they're like, "Oh crap, I didn't throw your vote out. I just took whatever the first one was that you mentioned." Okay? I want everybody to have the opportunity, but at the same time, like, we have to be fair. Like, if somebody comes in and votes for 3 characters
and someone else votes for
that's
one,
giving you 3 votes over somebody else's one. So just to keep it fair, but yeah, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, Loki, Spider-Man, Thor, and Captain Marvel all on the board. Let's see. I can't wait to see what you guys pick. So I'm not going to put any opinions in there. I'm not going to say what I want to go for. The only thing I will say is that Loki, suck it. I'll get your thing every single time. I'll pick the right card. I don't care. I mean, I might half the damage, but I'm still going to get damage in. Don't even try it with me, man. There's no fails. No fails with Skyler G. Anyway, with that being said, we will see you guys next time on the Roll Phase podcast. Well, that's a wrap on another episode.
You know what, Skyler? But with the Roll Phase, there's always more on the way. We want to say a massive thank you to all who tuned in and joined in on the Roll Phase.
That's right. And if you enjoyed the show, please hit that subscribe or follow button on whatever platform you're listening on right now. It really helps the show climb through the rankings and get in front of more listeners.
And don't forget to find us in the wild. You can follow the Roll Phase on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok, where we'll keep you updated on new episodes and even post more content following us and our Dice Throne journey.
Yeah, who knows? We might end up at a convention near you or doing an impromptu video about a brand new character announcement.
Yeah, and if we hit 10,000 subscribers / followers, Skyler will dress up as his favorite Dice Throne hero, Psylocke.
Wait, what?
Oh, and don't forget, we want to keep the Dice Throne community growing, so be sure you're also following the official Dice Throne social accounts to help support this game we all love.
Yeah, good idea. Hey, can we circle back to the Psylocke thing?
You're right, Skyler. The best way to grow the community is to support the original creators.
Yeah, I know, but
Until next time, this has been... You're supposed to say it.
The Roll Phase podcast.
See you all next episode.
Hey, I never agreed to.